Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan and this is Skipping Stitches. If you're new here, this channel is all things dressmaking. That includes things like indie pattern companies, fabric chat, looking at my plans for different seasons and all sorts of things. So if dressmaking and sewing is your jam, then you are in the right place. Welcome. Let me start off by telling you today what I'm wearing. I am wearing a top that I made a few weeks ago, and this was part of the pattern test I did for Chalk and Notch. This was made before the pattern was adjusted. There was a two-phase pattern test, and so this one isn't the best fit on me, but it's really comfy and I like wearing it. It's a Chalk and Notch test. It's got this gorgeous low scoop neck at the back and the high at the front. There is an option to reverse that. It also comes with sleeves if you want, and there's a lovely sort of straight dress option as well, which I'd love to try at some point. I am wearing with my Friday Pattern Company saguaro pants and the white rammy linen. I'll pop a picture up so you can see the full length of them if you're interested. They're just a bit of a go-to pattern for me. I wear them a lot in the summer, and yeah, it's just like secret pajamas really. So that's what I'm wearing today. I thought we would kick off by, actually, let me just tell you, I haven't been here for the past week or so, and you may have noticed that there was a vlog missing last week, and that's because the family and I have been away. We went to Devon for a little family holiday with the teenagers and the dog, so it was carnage, as you can imagine, but also lovely, just lovely to spend some time together. The weather was a bit hit and miss. We had some beautiful sunshine and we had some really heavy showers, so very typical British weather. But it was lovely, loads of walking, lots of nice food, and just family time, which is always very valuable, especially as the children get older and kind of start to fly the nest. So that's why I haven't been online for the past week. But I'm back home and I'm raring to go with some sewing inspiration for you today. I thought I would have a look at transitional trouser patterns. So it's the beginning of September and the sun is definitely shining today. It's beautiful actually. But there is 100% a chill in the air. I took the dog out first thing and I had my Pogonip pullover on because it was pretty fresh. I love this time of year actually. Still bright and sunny, but it's got that little chill. So I thought it might be useful for some of you to have a look at transitional trousers. I'll go through some of the ones that I've found really useful over the last few years and maybe talk a bit about the fabrics I've used as well, because I think it can be really tricky finding the right bottom weight fabric with the right drape and the right stretch and everything. So, I mean, I'm no expert, but I'm just going to tell you what works for me. So let's get started. Some of these you would have seen me talk about in other vlogs. Some of them may be new to you. So I've got a few hanging behind me here, and I've also got a few down here. That's why I'm standing today. I just think it'd be easier to show you things. Right, I'm going to start with my top favourite actually. These are my all-time favourite trouser pattern, and depending on which view you choose, they can be more autumnal or more winter. So it is the Sew House 7 Oxbow trousers or jeans. I have made 3 pairs in total now. I have 1 pair of the wide leg jeans, which I also adore. I'll talk about them another time. And I've made 2 pairs of View A, which is a cropped jean or trouser, depending what fabric you use. So these are the cropped. They are not flared, but they are fairly loose in the leg, and they've got they come out slightly towards the ankle. I will pop a picture up of me wearing these so you can see. The fit is really good on them. I need to sort of slightly shorten the crotch at the front on them, but apart from that, they're really good. So they've got a kind of classic jean details on them. So we've got the jeans button, zip fly, pockets on the back, on the bum, and you've got these quite 70s inspired big pockets at the front, which I actually love. And they are the comfiest trousers. They've got a curved waistband, which I find fantastic. I'm quite pear-shaped and I need a curved waistband to sort of not fit nicely around my back and my waist. So these fit great, and they also have darts on the back. So if you're worried about fitting and if you're worried about making your first jean style pair of trousers, I would highly recommend the Oxbows. The instructions are absolutely fantastic. There is a tutorial as well. And I found them really quite straightforward when I made them. So this pair, they're very red, aren't they? But you know, why not? I actually love them. They're really fun. I often wear them with like a striped top or a, you know, polo neck or t-shirt. These were actually made in a stretch cotton. So the pattern doesn't call for stretch, actually, it calls for rigid, but I personally find a little bit of stretch makes a pair of trousers so much more wearable. I find trousers without stretch tend to linger in the bottom of my cupboard and not get chosen as much because they feel restrictive. Sometimes if you get a bit bloated, it just feels uncomfortable sitting in trousers that don't stretch. So these have got a very small, I think it's only about 10% stretch, a tiny bit of width wave stretch, and it makes all the difference, I promise you. So this pair are in the cotton with a little bit of stretch. It's not a cotton twill, just a cotton. This one is, I believe it's called a brushed cotton canvas. I got this from First for Fabrics last year. I've got some in a khaki colour that I haven't made up yet. This is the black version because black goes with everything. I don't know quite what I did, but these don't fit me quite as well. I think I messed up a little bit when I made some modifications to the front crotch. So these are definitely more fitted. I still wear them. They're lovely. These are kind of feel velvety, peach skinny, and they're gorgeous. So I've got those two. And like I said, there is a longer leg version that's a wider leg as well, which is really on trend at the minute. But I would say they're probably more winter rather than transitional. So the Oxbow trousers would be my top option, and you could do them in all sorts. You could do them in denim, stretch cotton, you could do them in canvas, you could do them in twill. I think you could do them in a nice needle cord. Actually, even a chunky cord would be pretty cute in these. So I think there are lots of options with that one pattern. So that is my first and best recommendation, I would say. So I'm going to try and put these back here without them falling off. Obviously not designed for hanging clothes on. The next pair, oh, these are two of the same pattern as well. And also one of my top favourite trouser patterns. It is the Merchant & Mills Eve trousers. They are a very simple to make pair of trousers, relaxed fit. They have got a simple waistband, really. Let me take them off the hanger. A simple fold over waistband that has got a button on the side, and it has got a lapped zip. If you don't know what a lapped zip is, it basically is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you on here. It's kind of hidden. So you've got the zip there, and then you've got a little bit that goes over the top, like a little lap that covers the zip. The first time I ever made these, I struggled with the lap zip, but actually I've made probably 3, maybe 4 pairs now, and each time you do it, it gets easier. They're brilliant. They're just really comfy. These are made in a linen kind of, I don't know, is it a limey, yellowy, green chartreuse? Don't know if that's even the right word. But anyway, they're very quick and easy, and I can get these out of 1.5 meters of fabric, no problems. They have pockets on the back, so just simple patch pockets, a couple of darts, and they're not wide leg by any means, but they're a loose fit, as I say. So I would say they sit at my natural waist. They're cropped, and again, you can make these in quite a few different fabrics. So these ones are 100% linen. These ready ones here are made in a ramie linen. These are quite old and looking a bit worn now. I do wear them a lot for work in the autumn. I have seen them made in chunky cord before. They're really cute in cord because there is an option in this pattern to add a turn-up. So neither of these have the turn-up. I've just got the standard sort of ankle grazer length there, but there is an option to add a turn-up. And they look really nice in the cord with that chunky little cuff at the bottom. So I've seen them in denim, lightweight denim, I would suggest, with the zip and everything. So denim, cord, again, canvas, linen, ramie, loads of options for these trousers. I think they're really, really versatile. And if you wanted to take them into the winter months, or if you just prefer that look, you could easily lengthen them and have them full length. So the Eve trousers, they're a winner for me. Easy to make, really flattering shape, and don't use much fabric. Mine, obviously, it depends on your size. That's not going to stay on there. These were, I think, like the equivalent to a UK size 8. So obviously, if you're making a bigger size, you'll need a little bit more fabric, but still, you get the idea. Okay, so these ones you've definitely heard me talk about before because I'm a firm favourite. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am not a huge fan of Stylarch patterns because of their poor instructions. And I just think, yeah, I've said it before, so I'm not going to harp on, but if you're going to spend a lot of money on a pattern, you want decent instructions, and I think it's important. However, saying that, these are the Stylarch Barry pants, and they are so simple that as long as you have got a rough idea of how to make trousers, you will manage with the poor instructions on these. So I have made 4 pairs of these. I think I only found the pattern about a year ago, and after I made my first pair, I was like, okay, I need more of these. They're so quick to make, so comfortable to wear. These are, again, in a linen. This is 100% linen. I think I got it from Northern Monkey Makes years ago. I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. Yeah, because I had some in khaki as well, which I've made another pair in. They have got an elasticated waist, which I think we all love. And they've also got this paper bag style. So I don't know if you can see, there's like a little frilly bit at the top here. So you do a little, you stitch a little bit along that edge there before you put the elastic in, and it creates a frill. I mean, to be honest, 9 times out of 10, I have my top covering the waistband so you don't see it. But, you know, it's just a pretty detail if you fancy it. Again, I would say they sit round about my natural waist. They are cropped and they have got the barrel leg, but it isn't a big wide barrel leg. It's quite subtle in my opinion. The Stylarch bob pants are more balloon shaped or more barrel shaped than these. These have got a little pleat down near the ankle, which helps to kind of taper them in. And they've got inseam pockets here, slant pockets that you top stitch down. Very easy. Somebody recently I heard said there are pockets to go on the back of these, but my pattern does not have back pockets as an option. So I don't know if that's an old version or a new version. Definitely aren't any, but you could easily draft them if you wanted to. It's just a couple of squares, isn't it? So again, quick, easy, comfortable. And again, I think quite versatile in terms of fabric. So I've got a linen pair, I've got a rammy pair, my third pair, yeah, so mine are all linen and rammy mixes. Surprise, that's what I make everything in. But I have seen people make them in denim. I think you could definitely do a needle cord. I think you could do all sorts. It just needs to not be too bulky because of the elastic. Anything too bulky is going to be hard to gather. So yeah, any mid-weight, bottom weight fabric I think would work fairly well. I wouldn't use anything too bulky. So with these, definitely you could use a slightly bulkier fabric, but I think with these you need to be a little bit more cautious. If you've made them in a bulkier fabric, let me know, prove me wrong. I'm sure somebody has. Next pair here, it's True Bias, and they are called the Danny pants. So these are old actually. I got these as a kit from Guthrie and Garney, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. And they were my first ever zip fly. It's a bit of a mess on these ones, but it's good enough. I've since gone on to make more and they're much better, but they're in the wash, so I thought I'd show you these ones. These ones have got, it's quite an unusual shape actually. They're fairly straight-legged, but they're a little bit wider around, you probably see that around the thigh. So I did taper mine in a little bit, otherwise they've got a very slight sort of jodhpur shape. But the cool thing about them is that it's elastic at the back, but you've also got buttons and a zip fly and a flat bit at the front, so it looks more like proper trousers from the front. I will pop a picture up of these as well so you can see a full view. These are full length. There is an option to turn them up at the end with a cuff. I didn't with this fabric because it's quite floppy. These are made in a viscose linen, so you can see probably in the video it's quite drapey. They feel a bit like sort of harem trousers, that kind of style. Super comfy. A couple of pockets on the back. I think they've all got pockets, haven't they? And these are inseam pockets as well. So relatively easy to make. This, if you do go for the option with the zip fly, it does make them a little bit more involved, but you know, nothing too complicated. But if you're scared of doing zip flies, there is also an option just to do elastic all the way around. I made, my first pair was a wearable toile of them in the shorts version, and I still wear them all the time. And that was just all the elastic. I didn't bother for a wearable toile putting that in. So, you know, lots of options. I think this pattern works well in the drapey fabric. I'm not sure that they would work quite so well in something more structured. So a linen, I think definitely would work. Maybe like a bamboo twill, this viscose linen, that kind of thing I think would be good for these. I wouldn't be doing them in a chunky cord or a denim. I think it would be too much. But yeah, any sort of lighter weight fabric with a little bit of drape, I think would work beautifully with them. So the next ones I'm going to mention I haven't got a picture of. It is a pair of fibre mood trousers and it's called the Billy pattern. I'll pop them up for you. I made my first pair in a stretch needle cord and they're lovely. They're all quite a similar style, I would say. Cropped, sort of not wide fit, not loose fit, somewhere in the middle. Side pockets, just comfy to wear. The reason I haven't got them is because I don't have them anymore. So I need to make another pair. And I do have the pattern all ready to go, and I do have some nice cord that I'd like to make them in. I think they could be really nice in a chunkier cord, and I think they would also look quite nice in like a black twill or something like that, make them a bit smarter. Another pattern that has just launched recently, and I have made a wearable toile, but I cannot find them. I wanted to show you them. It's the new Tilly and the Buttons pattern, and they're called the Winnies. So it is a barrel leg. They're very simple, beginner friendly. If you've never made trousers before, this might be the one for you. I made my wearable toile in like no time at all. If I find them, how do you lose your trousers? Don't ask me. If I find them, I will pop a picture up for you. They don't look amazing on me at the minute because they're too big. So I made them in some ramie that I had left over from another project, and they come up huge. I was between a size 2 and a 3, and I made a size 2, and they were ginormous. So I have since tapered them in at the sides and made them smaller. So when I make my actual pair, they're going to be at least a size 1. You can't go down any further than that on Tilly patterns, which is annoying. So I will have to try and just do a bigger seam allowance and work with that. But they are a nice, comfy, everyday pair of trousers, great for the transitional season, versatile in terms of fabric. They do have elastic at the back, so again, you don't want anything mega bulky because you're going to struggle to gather. But they're a nice everyday sort of autumny trouser pattern. So I'll try and get a picture up when I find them. Yeah, dark, I don't know. So yeah, that's that. That is my recommendation. So in terms of fabrics, really, you want to be going for something that holds its shape, that has a little bit of structure, and that isn't going to bag out too much. My preference is always something with a little bit of stretch, not too much, because too much stretch, you end up with baggy bum and everything. So my preference is normally about sort of 5-10%. And I think for me, being able to feel the fabric for bottom weight trousers and things is really important, because what it says online can be very different. So for example, the cotton that I use for these, I actually bought this for something else. I bought them for the Sasha trousers, the closet core Sasha trousers. But when it arrived, I was like, there's not enough stretch in it. There just isn't. They're not going to physically work because the Sashas are very fitted. I love them as well, but I'd say they're more winter trousers. So yeah, it worked out well because they worked out for my Oxbow pants in the end. But yeah, having to, being able to feel the fabric and be able to see the physical stretch and imagine how they're going to work for the pattern you have in mind is yeah, it's invaluable really. So if you're lucky enough to have a shop near you, then definitely pop in and try all the bottom weight fabrics and see what you think will work. If not, a lot of places do little swatches that you can order. Normally they're free or very cheap. So if you're patient enough, unlike me, you can order some swatches and have a go. So apart from the trousers, what else have I been up to? I've cut out the bag that I said I was making for someone for Christmas. I'll show you, there's not much to see. It's this lovely canvas fabric in this ochre colour. So all the pieces are cut out and interfaced, took forever. So I need to set about doing that soon. That's on my to-do list. But I also have quite a lot of other things going on at the minute. I have recently agreed to become a brand supporter for Lamazi Fabrics. If you don't know who Lamazi are, they're an amazing fabric shop based down south, and they have such a great array of fabrics. They do all sorts, but what I really like about them is they do a lot of things in sort of colour, tonal, I don't know how to describe it. They kind of bulk colours together, if that makes sense. So if, for example, like me, you like a certain colour palette, like if you like a warm colour palette or a cool colour palette, quite often on their website they've got inspiration and they'll have all those colours in one section, so you can find them and see what works together and what goes together. I love that. And they also have some of the lovely fabric companies like See You at Six and Danish Designs. So I'm going to be working with them soon. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you some inspiration from their lovely fabric range and talk to you about some of their patterns. They have a lot of the French pattern companies as well. So that's exciting. It's going to keep me very busy. I already work alongside Guthrie & Ghani. So, you know, two of my favourite fabric companies I get to work with. I'm very lucky. And I hope that I can share some of that with you and yeah, do maybe some unboxing of some of their kits and show you what they've got on offer and inspire you to make something beautiful. And last but not least for today, because I think I've chatted enough, I just thought I'd show you this stunning fabric that I bought. I wasn't planning to do this. This was a spur of the moment thing, but I saw this online. This was Guthrie & Ghani. I have since seen it in loads of other shops, to be honest. It is a viscose twill and it's got a little bit of stretch going on, which is pretty cool. And it's in this gorgeous chocolate brown leopard print, which I adore. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, I think I need a autumn winter dress out of this. So what I'm planning to do is the Megan Nilsson Darling Ranges dress with the longer sleeves. I'll probably not do full length, maybe sort of elbow length or 3/4. The Darling Ranges is a really simple dress. I'm going to do it short so I can wear it in the winter with some nice black tights and my boots. And I just thought it would look really nice with little black buttons down the front. It's button front, V-neck, sorry, microphone tap, sort of comes in at the waist. It's quite simple, but actually I just thought this would work beautifully. I can kind of visualize it now. So this is going to be my nice autumn winter dress when I find the time to do it. And then hopefully I'm not going to buy any more fabric anytime soon because I'm going to be too busy to sew it up. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you found the little whirlwind tour of my top transitional trouser patterns useful. If you've got any questions, of course, feel free to leave some in the comments. As always, if you enjoy my content, give me a thumbs up. And it would mean everything to me if you could subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I get, the more opportunities I get to bring better content to you. So yeah, that would be great. In the meantime, have a lovely week, stay safe, and I hope you get some time to do some sewing. Take care.